Good day, I am Rayani B. Taray and I am the second reporter for today. For the continuation of the implementing rules and regulation of the Enhanced Basic Education Act 2013, Republic Act number 10533. The second rule is the curriculum. The basic education curriculum development. In the development of the basic education curriculum, the DepEd shall be guided by the following. One of the goal of the Department of Education is the high quality of the curriculum. There are many changes in our curriculum throughout of the time. From BEC or Basic Education Curriculum to RBEC, which is Revised Basic Education Curriculum, and now we are adopting the K-12 curriculum to align our educational system to international norms, which in turn allows students to access post-secondary institutions globally. 10.1 Formulation and Design. Pursuant to Section 5 of the Act, the Department shall formulate the design and details of the Enhanced Basic Education Curriculum. The DepEd shall work with the CHED and TESDA to craft harmonized basic, tertiary, and technical vocational education curricula for Filipino graduates to be locally and globally competitive. Hindi lang ang DepEd ang nag-craft ng ating curriculum, but also the help of CHED and TESDA to have a curriculum who can compete locally and globally. 10.2 is the standards and principles. The DepEd shall adhere the following standards and principles when appropriate in developing an enhanced basic education curriculum. First, the curriculum shall be learner-centered, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate. In crafting the curriculum, our government ensure that it must be a learner-centered, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate to our learners. Next is the curriculum shall be relevant, responsive, and research-based. So, our curriculum now is really relevant to the needs of the society. And also, it gives the students their choices and preferences. For example, in our senior high school, we let them choose what strands and specialization they want to learn. Fourth is that the curriculum shall use pedagogical approaches that are constructivist, inquiry-based, reflective, collaborative, and integrative. The curriculum shall adhere to the principles and framework of Mother Tongue-based multilingual education, MTB-MLA, which starts from where the learners are and from what they already know, proceeding from the unknown to unknown. Instructional materials and capable teachers to implement the MTB-MLA curriculum shall be available. For this purpose, MTB-MLA refers to formal or non-formal education in which the learner's mother tongue and additional languages are used in the classroom. For me, in this part, the use of MTB-MLA is not effective in some area in our country because of the learning resources that we use. For example, here in our locality, the teacher used learning materials that the language used is Cebuano, which is sort of difficult in the part of the teachers and the student, and also for the parents because some of the terminologies used is not familiar. Example, they use the word idibuho ang hulagway. So, term idibuho ang hulagway is not terminologies used in Agusan del Sur. Instead, we use idrawing ang nawong. So, for me, the municipality must craft learning materials which use terminologies in the locality for an effective implementation. The curriculum shall use the spiral progression approach to ensure mastery of knowledge and skills after each level. Example in science subject in junior high school. In the RBIC, science subject is taught in grade 7, which is earth science, in grade 8, biology, in 9, chemistry, in 10 is physics. But in K-12 curriculum, the components of science is taught in grade 7 to 12 with a spiral progression approach. Next is the curriculum shall be flexible enough to enable and allow school to localize, indigenize, and enhance the same based on their respective educational and social context. So, the production and development of materials, the production and the development of the locality produced teaching and learning materials shall be encouraged. Next is the approval of this material shall be devolved to the regional and division education unit in accordance with the national policies and standard. During the pandemic time, teachers are encouraged to create teacher-made labs that are localized and indigenized. And also, our regional office initiate the making of unified labs, SLM, and RBI for the effective learning for the student despite of the pandemic. Next is the medium of teaching and learning. Pursuant to the Section 4 and 5 of the Act, basic education shall be delivered in languages understood by the learners, as language plays a strategic role in shaping the formative years of learner. So we use mother tongue language to explain deeply to our learners, especially those things that are hard to understand. Next is that the stakeholder participation to achieve an enhanced and responsive basic education curriculum. The DepEd shall undertake consultation with other national government agencies and other stakeholders, including but not limited to Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE, the Professional Regulation or the PRC, and the Private and Public Schools Association, National Student Organization, National Teacher Organization, Parent Teachers Association, Chambers of Commerce and other industry association on matters affecting the concerned stakeholders. Section 11, Curriculum Consultative Committee. Pursuant to Section 6 of the Act, a Curriculum Consultative Committee shall be created to be chaired by the DepEd Secretary or his/her duly authorized representative and with members composed of but not limited to a representative each from CHED, TESDA, DOLE, PRC, the Department of Science and Technology or DOST, and a representative from business chambers such as Information Technology, Business Process, Outsourcing, IT, BPO Industry Association. The Consultative Committee shall oversee the review and evaluation of the implementation of the enhanced basic education curriculum and may recommend to the DepEd the formulation of necessary refinements in the curriculum. So, in this part, the consultative committee is not only from the Department of Education but also from the other department. Rule number 3 is the teacher qualifications, training, continuing professional development. In Section 12, teacher education and training to ensure that the enhanced basic education program meets the demand for quality teachers and school leaders. The DepEd, CHED, and TESDA shall conduct teacher education and training programs in collaboration with relevant partners in government, academy, industry, and non-governmental organization. Such professional development programs shall be initiated, conducted, and evaluated regularly throughout the years to ensure constant upgrading of teacher skills. The teacher education and training program shall include but shall not be limited. Okay, 2.1 In-service training on content and pedagogy. DepEd teacher who will implement the enhanced basic education curriculum but have not undergone pre-service education that is aligned with the enhanced basic education curriculum shall be trained to meet the content and performance standards of the enhanced basic education curriculum. After the shift of K-12 from ARBIC, teachers are trained to adopt the new curriculum and to deliver the quality education which is aligned to the new content and performance standards in K-12. Training at 12.2. Training of new teachers. New graduates of the teacher education curriculum not aligned with the enhanced basic education curriculum shall undergo additional training upon hiring to upgrade their competencies and skills to the content and performance standards of the new curriculum. Furthermore, the CHED is in coordination with the DepEd and the relevant stakeholder shall ensure that the teacher in the education curriculum offered in these TEIs will meet the necessary quality standards for the new teacher. Validly recognized organization acting as TEIs in coordination with the DepEd, CHED, and other relevant stakeholders shall ensure that the curriculum of this organization meets the necessary quality standards for trained teacher. Okay, we have the TIP or the Teacher Induction Program for under 3 years teachers in service. In the time of pandemic, TIP is stopped, but still it was continued in this year. It aims to promote a quality teacher in the field to train us how to be effective teachers to our learners.
Training of school leadership, superintendents, principals, subject area coordinators, and other instructional school leaders shall likewise undergo workshops and training to enhance their skills on their roles as academic, administrative, and community leaders. Training of leaders establish great teaching practices. They can harness the talents and motivation of teachers, students, and parents to develop inclusive and inspiring learning cultures for the whole school and provide intensive, individualized, and sustainable teacher training. 12.4 Training of Alternative Learning System or ALS coordinators, instructional managers, mobile teachers, and learning facilitators. ALS coordinators, instructional managers, mobile teachers, and learning facilitators shall likewise undergo workshop and training to enhance their skills on their roles as academic, administrative, and community leaders. Section 13. Hiring of other teachers. Notwithstanding the provisions of Section 26, 27, and 28 of Republic Act No. 7836, otherwise known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994, the DepEd and private educational institution shall hire as may be relevant to the particular subject. 13.1 Graduates of science, mathematics, statistics, engineering, music, and other degree courses needed to teach in their specialized subjects in elementary and secondary education with shortage in qualified applicants who have passed the licensure examination for teacher. They shall also include the graduates admitted by foundation duly recognized for their expertise in the education sector and who satisfactorily complete the requirements set by this organization, provided that they pass the let within 5 years after their date of hiring, provided further that if such graduates are willing to teach in basic education as part-time basis, the provision of let shall no longer be required. We all know that some of our senior high teachers are not let passer, but still they are able to teach because they meet the eligible standard needed in the specialized course they are now teaching. They are given 5 years to pass the let and to be a permanent teacher in the Department of Education. graduates of technical vocational courses to teach in their specialized subjects in the secondary education, provided that these graduates possesses the necessary certification issued by TESDA. Provided further that they undergo appropriate in-service training to be administered by the DepEd or HEIs at the expense of the DepEd. The DepEd shall provide administrative support to private educational institutions for the in-service training of their teacher on the enhanced basic education curriculum. Faculty of HEI is to teach in their general education or subject specialties in secondary education, provided that the faculty must be a holder of a relevant bachelor degree and must have satisfactorily served as a full-time HEI faculty. The DepEd and private educational institution may hire practitioners with expertise in the specialized learning areas offered by the enhanced basic education curriculum to teach in the secondary level, provided that they teach on part-time basis only. For this purpose, the DepEd, in coordination with the appropriate government agency, shall determine the necessary qualification standard in hiring these experts. The recruitment and teacher training are closely related. The coordinated recruitment and training of teacher is an essential condition for the provision of quality education. And also, recruitment is an important step in the selection of teacher with the desired profile according to a professional references frameworks. This framework should be defined beforehand and indicate the skills that all the professional teacher should possess or acquire during their training. Finally, initial training and in-service training will combine to produce the teacher profile. Rule number 4, private educational institutions. In Section 15, issuance and revocation of permits and or recognition of private senior high schools, the DepEd shall regulate the offering of senior high school in private educational institution. Private educational institution may only offer senior high school when so authorized by the DepEd. The DepEd shall prescribe the guidelines on the issuance and revocation of permits and or recognition of senior high school. In opening up private schools for senior high school, it must be recognized by the DepEd. We know that the school is given subsidy, or we call it voucher, for the senior high school student because of the transition of the K-12. So, ang DepEd din ang may karapatan kung tatanggalin ang isang paaralan at hindi na pwedeng magturo pa ng senior high school if ever may napapansin ang DepEd na ang school na yan ay hindi nakaka-provide ng good or quality education sa mga student nila. Okay. Section 16, specialization in private senior high school. Private educational institution may offer specialization in senior high school that are essential to the economic and social development of the nation, region, or locality. Local planning in the development of educational policies and program shall be encouraged consistent with the state policy to take into account regional and sectoral needs and condition. Alam natin na ang senior high school ay nagkakaroon na sila ng mga specialization. Kaya dapat itong i-follow ng mga private institution. So, yung private institution ay magbibigay sila ng mga specialization sa mga estudyante. Halimbawa na lamang, nung nagtuturo ako sa isang private school sa San Francisco, yung ICI or Informatic Computer Institute of Agusan del Sur, yung specialization ng school namin ay about lahat sa computer. So, nagsimula ang school talaga sa computer. Kaya ang inoffer nila ay technical vocational course na specialization sa computer. Sabihin man nating private school sila, pero kailangan pa rin nilang sumunod sa mga mandate ng DepEd upang mapagpatuloy pa nila yung kanilang school. at makapagbibigay din sila ng quality education sa mga bata.
Thank you for listening and God bless us all. It will be continued by Miss Julie Tunay.